I should really be reviewing this film in a Christmas jumper. Spirited has received some tepid reviews, but it's an imaginative retelling of the Scrooge fable, in which there is a crisscrossing of journeys into the past lives of its characters, both terrestrial and celestial. Not only does it inhabit much of the same terrain as Richard Donner's Scrooged from 1988, in which Bill Murray's TV misanthropic and ratings-focused executive was shown the true meaning of Christmas, but here Scrooged is explicitly referenced in the film. One of many meta moments where other films, as well as the Charles Dickens story itself, is explicitly identified and deconstructed. In Spirited, Ryan Reynolds is a PR man without a soul. Unredeemable is the word used, which gives the ghosts of Christmases past, present, and yet to come even more of a challenge to ensure that he becomes a better man by the end of the battering he receives to make him change his path in life. Now, the template here, of course, is Ebenezer Scrooge. And it is revealed that the ghost of Christmas Present, played by Will Ferrell, was Scrooge himself in the 19th century, thereby giving a fictional character an historical origin story in this fictional iteration of the classic Victorian redemption story. The conceit of Spirited is that such former unredeemables as Scrooge are, upon receipt of redemption, catapulted from the subject of a haunting to the agent of it. And every year he and the other ghosts take it upon themselves to choose one person in the Scrooge mould who is sufficiently wretched and beyond the pale to be made new. Now, this is all done as a song and dance movie. And whereas much of this has been done before, not least in Albert Finney's Scrooge from 1970 and the remarkably faithful Muppet version from 92, Spirited is afforded even greater gravitas by the way in which it delves into the past lives, not just of the subject being groomed for redemption, but also of the ghosts themselves, who may have been redeemed from their past lives, but suffer the eternal deficit of never being able to be human again, and so unable to fall in love. This is a Christmas carol told from the perspective of the three ghosts, and this notion of being taken on a journey through multiple biographical histories to showcase and teach the importance of redemption gives what could have been a slick, frothy musical a much more three-dimensional arc. Indeed, Spirited even has Ryan Reynolds turning the tables on the ghost of Christmas Present and getting Will Ferrell to reflect on, unpack and critique the efficacy of his enterprise. There is, of course, much to ponder on in the premise that doing an entire year's worth of spiritual research in order to transform just the one miser or Scrooge figure is proportionate. Reynolds indeed questions why he has been chosen when there are so many other misanthropes and manipulators around. But Reynolds is a social media influencer who frames his career around weaponizing, distorting and profiting from Christmas. And as he represents the antithesis of its authentic and spiritual essence, as perceived from the ghost's perspective, then he is especially ripe for the full-on redemptive treatment. He only succumbs to redemption after he has himself done what his character is adept at doing, and seduces, literally in the case of the Ghost of Christmas Past, and subverts what the ghosts are trying to do. Now, Spirited is set in an afterlife way station where characters pass through the Hall of the Unredeemed, and the reincarnation suggested by the film's innovative reimagining of the Scrooge story makes Spirited as much of an afterlife as it is a Christmas movie, with the human mortal life prioritised over the stability and everlasting nature of the life after death state. As in so many afterlife movies, love trumps death, and the afterlife is not the desired for final state, but merely a means to an end.